Om Shanno Mitrasham Varunaha Shanno Bhavatvaryama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnururukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We have covered quite a bit of ground about understanding the various orders of reality and also looking at the cause of misery, analysis of dukkha. Dukkha, misery, sorrow, is because I am drowning in subjectivity. When all the time, glub, glub, glub. This is the this is the reason. We also saw how catching hold of the interim reality, the middle reality in which we live, the reality of the everyday becomes an important post to hold on to because it is objective. Because I don't have to live in my head and be driven by all kinds of emotions, fears, etc., which I have enthroned. I have put all these feelings on the throne and I am run by them, and it is my own world. That is, it is a world of not only sorrow but disconnection from the Jagat, dissociation from everything that is. And we have seen what is Ishvara, Bhagavan. Therefore, I have to be first from coming out of this personal, we can't even call it reality anymore, can we? Personal non reality. I come and live firmly in Bhagavan's Jagat. So I have my own Jagat. And then what? Bhagavan's Jagat. This in Sanskrit has got a very beautiful expression. Ishvara Srishti, Ishvara's creation, and then Jiva Srishti, Jiva's creation. What does the Jiva create? Confusion. That's what. Confusion and fear and pain and sorrow. Living in my own creation, I am isolated because there is no proof that this is real. Still, I continue to subsist in this. That means I am alone, lonely. And therefore, to live firmly in Ishvara Srishti through bhakti and karma yoga, we have seen is just a very important step to be able to then go further. So, what does it mean to live in Ishvara's Jagat as opposed to my own Jagat? Well, the dissimilarities are huge. In my own Jagat, I am run by my feelings. And there is feelings that have actually no validity. Number one, feelings that run me crazy, and feelings that perpetuate themselves through wrong thinking, wrong ideas, and wrong notions about myself, about the world, about even Ishvara, God, in whatever way I invoke this God. This is the problem with the personal non reality. It is a mithya within mithya. And then, therefore, I learned to live in Ishvara's world, which means dropping this pain. And there are many, many ways we have seen. Yoga is wonderful. Anything that connects me to myself, anything that perpetuates self-love, all these are sadhanas. Therapy, yoga, all these things, and karma yoga. And I learned to live not just for myself. I learned to be integrated with everything else and everybody else. I start to understand that I matter. In the solipsistic reality, I don't see that I matter at all. I just am floating around by myself in my own bubble of emotions, and I am so preoccupied that I do not see how I am affecting others. When I live in Ishvara's world, then I am able to see how I am affecting other people. This is very important. They say that, everything is interconnected. When the butterfly, somewhere I read, flaps its wings where? Somewhere in China, it affects the weather in the other part of the world. And so, here too, I have a place. My body, my birth, my parentage, my very being here on this earth is not meaningless, is not an accident, is not a waste of time. I matter. I have a purpose to fulfill, and I may not know what it is, and that's okay. There is a whole lifetime to discover that. Maybe there are many lifetimes to discover that, but I at least have to start trying now. That is my dharma. I have to start trying now. I may not know exactly what it is, but I have to participate. What choice do I have? I have to give this body mind sense complex called Upadhi, this container in which I live, I have to give it a chance to express itself, to connect with others, because this is really what I want. And so I live in Ishvara's Srishti, and that transition cannot happen without bhakti. That has to be there. I have to have an altar of surrender that will not talk back, that will listen to me, and that will ultimately, that connection with Bhagavan, which is activated, which is made alive. And that connection has the power to heal me totally from and bring me out of the self inflicted wounds of pain, sorrow, and fear, and make me live in the Jagat again. Dare me to live in the world again. The distrust, I come out of a place of distrust and I dare to trust again. This is a very, very, very important thing. And this itself is enough for many people. This is a big transition, and as they are making it, this itself is plenty. But if one is ready and if one has the desire to look into what is this non duality, then there is one more step possible. And that is what is called understanding the non separateness from the Lord, from Ishvara, and knowing that this Jagat, with all its things, etc., which is all Ishvara, I am that Ishvara. That is the final step in the understanding. And there is no need to rush there. This is very, very, this is itself a big achievement to be able to live firmly in this reality. And then if I am reproducing duality, let it be just between myself and Ishvara. Let that be the last frontier of duality. This should be the prayer. And when one is ready, naturally the desire comes to go to greater heights, to go to a greater level of understanding described in the holy Upanishads as the oneness, as the final dropping of the last frontier of duality between the Jiva and Ishvara. And why do I need to do that? Because that is what one wants, and what one wants is Ananda. That itself is the source of Ananda. I want to be limitless. I want to be whole. And in Ananda, what happens when we discuss Ananda, even though I'm very happy, after a few minutes, what do I do? Look around. This person is happier. That person seems to be happier. This I have one thing, and which makes me happy, and this person has four things of the same. How is that? And then, even though 2 minutes ago I was very contented, looking at what the other person has makes me immediately go back into that solipsistic reality. And this is why the final what is that? The final so-called divide or difference between Jiva and Ishvara is busted, is completely unraveled in the understanding, as we saw, that what am I? Consciousness. After I remove cognitively all the things that I am not, that I should learn to not identify with, such as body, mind, senses, most important, feelings, and all the emotions, everything, possessions, all the things that are possessing me. I have to discount that in this understanding. And on the other side, what we call Ishvara, all the glory, the ability to project the universe, the Shakti, and the Shakti to sustain, the Shakti to take back the universe, all this is just that which comes and goes. Underneath all this, what is there? We don't have an English word. It is adhisthana. They uh, sometimes translate it as substratum, but it really doesn't cut it. The adhisthana, the truth of the Jiva and Ishvara, is what? Both are Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Satchidananda. I am Satchidananda. So then, equipped with this understanding, then the Upanishad starts to look into an analysis of Ananda. Why analyze Ananda? Because, for two reasons. Because there appear to be two kinds of Ananda. Just like we talk about two kinds of or three kinds of realities, there appear to be two kinds of Ananda. Therefore, it causes confusion. There is the daily Ananda. So many Anandas are there: ice cream Ananda, puja Ananda, brunch Ananda, so many things are there. And then there is what? The Ananda associated with, identified with Brahman, Brahmananda. And so, which is the real Ananda? That is one reason why this analysis has to be conducted, and why there is a wonderful section called Ananda Mimamsa. The word Mimamsa means analysis. Analysis of who? Me. That's why it's Mimamsa. I, I'm understanding me better. And so this is called Ananda Mimamsa. It's a very brilliant section. So then Adi Shankara in his commentary analyzes these two Anandas a little bit. What is the difference? He asks, and he gives a very beautiful, succinct bhashya commentary about what is the difference between the Ananda of the everyday empirical reality and the Ananda identified with Brahman. And he says the everyday Ananda is very, very frustrating. Why? For many reasons. First is there is always a divide between the experiencer and the object of experience. There is a divide. And so then, in order to experience Ananda, what do I have to do? The object and the subject have to align. The object and the subject have to align. So suppose it is ice cream Ananda. The ice cream has to be what? Taken from your hands. First, it has to come to my hands. And then it's not just enough to have it in the hand, right? It has to align with the mouth. It has to be in correct position for to be enjoyed. Otherwise, what happens? Ice cream. That's all. the the story of the little girl that sometimes I say, I tell. What was she doing in our ashram? One day I saw 5 years old, and she was crying while she is eating her ice cream. I said, "What happened? Why are you crying? Did somebody say anything? Did your mother scold you?" She's still weeping and she's saying no to everything. What happened? And then she shows that the ice cream is already half consumed and it will be over soon. That's why she's crying. It's already half over. Then I pointed out that when she's crying into the ice cream, it's going to melt faster. So the story of the innocent 5, 6 year old child tells us something. This is everybody's story. That if I have it, it will finish. There is a frantic effort to grab, 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 and then retain what I have grabbed. This is my problem. And the more I try to retain, the more it runs away. Whether the thing in question is a person, an entity, or a object, doesn't matter. So therefore, this Vishaya means object. And in fact, the meaning of the word is embedded in the word itself. Vishinoti badhnati iti Vishayaha. So the word object means that which binds you is called Vishaya. So this Vishaya, object, has to be in alignment with Vishayi, subject. Vishayin means the one who is into the Vishaya. Vishayin. So the Vishayi and Vishaya have to be together. Otherwise, there is no Ananda. So the Ananda that I experience in the world, I have to go to great lengths to manufacture this Ananda. I have to make sure all the forces align. And what are the forces? The forces are many. And therefore, I need sadhana. Oh, here also there is sadhana, yes. Not the kind of sadhana we think of in ashrams, but here the sadhana means the hard work that I have to do and the conditions that I have, the conducive conditions that I have to produce for the things to fall in place. So there are two kinds of sadhanas talked about in bringing about this alignment with Vishaya and Vishayi. What are those two kinds of sadhanas? One is called Bahya Sadhanani, external sadhanas. Oh, there are external sadhanas? Yes. What is that? The object should be available. Where? Not in Mars. Here. Somewhere where I can get it. The object should be locatable, available, and the object should not already belong to somebody else. Okay. I want to marry this person, but that person is already married. Not a possibility. So the object should be available. And the object should not belong to anybody else. So in a relative sense, the object should be free, unencumbered. And then what? If there is a free, unencumbered object, that means there will be so many people running after it. Then, if I want it, I have to sprint to the finish. I have to be first in line to get that. And of course, in the world, the desirable objects are what? Few. And the desirers are many. This is a trick. The desirable objects are not few. But then a few of those objects are made to be desirable by the capitalist companies. They play with our emotions and manufacture desirability. And then we, like gullible people, we go after the things with great gusto. And there are some catchwords. Limited edition means there's only a few of it, come quickly. And of course, by the time I go stand in line, the last one is gone. So the desirable objects are made even more desirable, and then one controls the desirability of the object by manipulating the market because one is in a position to do so, and by other clever tactics like manipulating and inundating the social media. Because if something trends, I definitely want that because other people are wanting it. I also want it. Till yesterday I didn't even know it existed. Now I cannot sleep until I have it. So we become a prey to the manufacturers, the agenda. Why do the companies have the agenda? Because they want to keep company with you, and they want, or rather with your money. That's why it's called company. And then the desirability is increased, artificially. And in fact, even the colors that are there on the market, somebody sits and decides. In the fall, it comes out. The color for next year is chilli red. You had never thought in your life of chilies, and nor were you particularly interested in red. Suddenly, you want only that chilli red, chilli red, chilli red. And this is all decided. Somebody is driving everything, and we have the sheep mentality. Bah, that's all. That's the answer to everything. We become totally crazy in this. This is a collective insanity in which we participate on a regular basis. And the other way in which the desirability is manufactured is that it is made relevant to you no matter who the you is. The you could be a business person in China, or it could be a researcher somewhere in Antarctica. Doesn't matter. It is made relevant to you. How do I make something relevant to the every person everywhere? That's easy. You just add the word I in front of all objects. iPhone. Oh, it's all me. So many things. iPhone, and then there is iMac, and then what else is there? iPod, iPad. And if I don't get any of these things, I'm mad. Yeah. That's how it is. From iPad to iMad does not take very long. And they make sure they're not replacing the I, because the I, when you refer to yourself, it's always the capital I, isn't it? But here it's a small, ubiquitous I, iPhone. Meaning what? You are incomplete without this device. You are nobody without this device. You are totally incomplete. And then the small I, it remains small only in the letter, but actually it capitalizes your whole life. Without the phone, one is agitated, anxious. It runs my life. And then it is called iPhone, meaning I am as good as the phone. So this is how one is caught in this whole game. And so the Vishaya, the object, and its increased desirability through artificial means, and through means of saying this is a limited edition, you can only have this much and you can only have it for so long, it creates discontent. it increases the irritability, the annoyance, and the discontent that is already there. And here I have worked so hard to come out of Jiva Srishti and live in Ishvara Srishti. This threatens to set me back by several lifetimes, and I go back into the solipsistic realm. So this is all these are all examples of bahya sadhanani, the external conditions that control the desirability of mine in order for me to have and enjoy the object. And of course, everywhere there is money. Show me the money. And so the money also becomes a powerful external condition to do this. So the this is exactly the problem with this whole setup. Bahya sadhanani. Then there are the next kind of sadhana is called adhyatma sadhana, internal conditions that have to align. These are also many. First is the body has to be okay. Supposing if it's a eatable, this is a good example. Chocolate cake. And what? Me. Chocolate cake is desirable only when the stomach is not upset. If there is a stomach upset, I want to be as far away as possible from chocolate cake. If there is no stomach upset, yes, I can enjoy oneness with the chocolate cake so long as the body is fit. The stomach should be able to digest the chocolate cake, and then this is one sadhana. Sadhana means conditions here. The second centered on me, adhyatma sadhana. Then the second one is the mind and the emotions. There is no obstacle. Chocolate cake is here. The body is feeling fine. But then what? The mood is off. Some bad news comes. Some bad news came to this fellow. Ting, the iPhone rang. Okay. Didn't ring. It said that there is a message. Ting. And of course, the chocolate cake has to wait because this controls my life. So this fellow looked at the message. And what did the message say? I am breaking up with you via text. After a several year relationship. Then, looking at the chocolate cake, is it desirable now? Not at all. The mood is totally off. In fact, we would not be surprised in this made up story if the person shoved the chocolate cake and sent it to the floor. Along with the plate, it was gone. Mood has to be there. So the Bhashya Sadhanani, in terms of the availability and the desirability, manufactured or otherwise, of the object, Antaranga Sadhanani or the Adhyatma Sadhanani, the sadhanas connected to the body, mind, sense complex, the conditions connected to my own availability to enjoy the object, have to be in fit form for me to enjoy the object. And yes, but what brings these two together? Even if it is in alignment, what is it that brings the two together? The answer, of course, is Ishvara in the form of the karmic order. The karma has to cooperate. Karma has to cooperate. And this happened to somebody in our ashram in Rishikesh. Person is very fond of, what is that called? Gulab jamun, which is a ball of calories dipped in 3-string sugar syrup. Okay, yeah. Just a ball of calories, you understand. It's like a Indian donut also dipped in sugar, thick sugar syrup, fragrant. Very, very fond of gulab jamun. But unfortunately, the brahmachari had been assigned to a pre-lunch some karma yoga, so was little late for lunch. But the gulab jamun was in mind because he had seen them frying in a huge vat, because all the sadhus were going to be fed. So he had seen 250 gulab jamuns being fried in the morning, and the thought of not having them would have made him very upset. So the last bit of his seva, he bribed a friend and gave it to him and said, "Please, you do the rest of it. I'm, I, I'm going to the lunch line. I cannot miss this thing. I have to have it." And then he was in the back of the lunch line trying to look to see where is there any left in the container that the people are serving. Is there any left? Oh, it looks like the service still going on. There is some left. Yes, I'm a little ahead. I'm a little ahead. Yes, I'm now in the front of the line. And there's not one, but 4 or 5 left. Ha! Ha 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 ha, he thought. And then one of them came on his plate. And the person who was serving, looking at the desperation on his face, he was sweating by this time in anticipation and desire, and then took pity on him and said, "Here, take another one. I'm not allowed to do this, but here, please have it. You can have mine. You can have it." And the joy knew no bounds. He was ready to dance. He was walking on air, which is perhaps why he did not see where he was going, as he was going to sit in his place. And another one who was in a hurry to go get something, because that person was in the Swami service and serving the Swamis, collided against him. The 2 gulab jamuns went flying in the air, along with the rice and dal, but who cares about that? Yeah. And the gulab jamuns fell on the floor and were there for more than 5 seconds. 5-second rule. What happened? Karma did not allow. He did everything in his power. He made sure the seva was taken care of. He got freed in time to have the gulab jamuns. And the Bakhya sadhanas, the outside sadhanas all aligned. The internal sadhanas aligned. He made sure he was hungry. He made sure everything was wonderful. He ran in line, stood there, and even there he was treated with kindness. And the lady serving gave him 2, not 1. That's where we say many a slip between the gulab jamun and the lips. Many slips. And the name for the slip is Ishvara in the form of karma. Karmically, he was not supposed to have that. So you see, the karmic order, my own results of karma, have to finally be the glue that brings me to enjoy the object of desire. This is, so you can see now how difficult it is to manufacture Ananda. You see how difficult it is. You see why everyone is tearing their hair out in clumps if they don't get something. You see exactly why it is so difficult. What is the way out of it? Let us see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.